You want to come up? Come on. Come on. Oh. This is the epitome of large dogs that think that they're lap dogs. Hi guys. It's me in post, and I just wanted to come on and give a little bit of an intro to the video. The chaos. It's just like, what is she doing? What are you doing? A little bit of an intro. So this was 30 runs in 30 days, and it was kind of like when I was just beginning to even think about training for high rocks, and I didn't even know while I was thinking about it if I was going to like actually compete. I just knew that I wanted to like do all the training to be competent enough to compete at a pro race if I needed to. So what you're about to see is me, who is very anaerobic conditioned. I'm a lifter for sure. I'm even a dancer. So my cardiovascular endurance is pretty good, but my aerobic, specifically endurance, is not accustomed to this portion of movement, especially in relation to running. So even when I do like a lot of high intensity HIIT training, all of that, it's a very different cadence than running. I know y'all know. So I wanted to like get over not even just some of like my running blockages, but I also wanted to get over the mental warfare that I kind of had with running in general, and I'll explain that more in a second. And then also I am working against turned out hips all the time, a history of being severely bow-legged, and therefore joints that don't always like to work along with me. So I need to get my body used to like impact of running and doing it more often, like training and running more often. Because honestly, before this, I would run a mile a week, and that was it. Like I would go for my fastest mile time, and that was it. So very much like sprinter, again, anaerobic and less aerobic. So that's what we're trying to do, is get over the mental stigma that comes with that, and then a little bit of just introducing my body to more running a week. So by that point, it would have been 35 minutes of running a week if I was trying to do it at like race pace, or not just like get it over with, because I could have easily done a 1K in 3 minutes 35 seconds, but like that wasn't the point. So I think it's important to mention as a disclaimer, like this is not the only thing that I did to train my running. This is not the only thing that I would ever recommend as a trainer to train my running. It was very much for my headspace of like, I would literally feel nauseous before I even began a run. Like there are people that hate running. No, there are runners that hate running. And then there are people that hate running. And I was people that hated running. So that was, what is my life? That was kind of where I was coming from with this. And then, yeah, like I said, like I just wanted my body to get used to the volume of it. I think I talk about it in a couple clips. So without further ado, 30 runs in 30 days. Originally, JADA was going to compete with me and NICO, good friend, great client. No, reverse that. Great friend, good client. And just got roped into doing it with me. I literally sent him a text on like, I don't know, like the 30th of the month before, and I was like, you should do 30 runs in 30 days with me. And he was like, no. And I was like, you sure? And he goes, sure, when? And I said, 2 days from now. And if I have the text messages, I will screenshot them and put them also in the video somewhere. But here we go. 30 runs in 30 days. Enjoy. One more thing, as a trainer with a running specialization, what I would advise to get you in the mood for running and help you improve like just your running pacing, and for beginners that don't run at all, would be starting with like 15 to 20 minutes of running a week, not even necessarily consider consecutively, just like that volume on a weekly basis, maybe 2 to 3 times a week of running, and then upping that after like 3 to 4 weeks to, 20 to 30 minutes. And then after another 3 to 4 weeks, 30 to 40 minutes, until you kind of feel like you're in whatever your long form race would be, which can be anything from a 10K to a half marathon to a marathon. Just depends on what you're training for, and kind of how long you're kicking that up. And then I also recommend strength training and to coincide with all of this. And more importantly than anything else, maybe core and flexibility, which means balletic movements, Pilates movements, yoga. Like, recovery is just as, if not more important as the actual race, which, just want to be clear, you'll see that we're doing a lot of that as well. So I do like a lot of conditioning training still in addition to these runs. A lot of times I would use this kind of stuff as like a warm up. I think at this stage I was still doing a 5K a week. And so that would be kind of like, again, at this time, for everybody else, that's like an easy run day. But for me, or maybe not an easy one, but a quick run. And for me, that was my long run at the time, because it's all relative. So yes, but just recognizing that I didn't just, look at this and be like, oh, okay, like I'm just going to run every day and that's going to help me improve running. No, it was going to help me improve my mental barriers when it came to running, so that I could focus on the physicality of my training as opposed to the limitations I put on myself. And if I'm being perfectly honest, this was my first time like enrolling in a race where I wasn't distributing, or I wasn't showcasing, that's a better word, my strengths, or exclusively my strengths. Like most fitness competitions that I've done in the past, I'm there to showcase like how I train and what I do best. In this case, it was like, yeah, you're about to get out of your comfort zone, and then you'll have, a little bit of pacing to catch up. So more on that to come, but just wanted you guys to know kind of how the crazy had been happening, and then of course in the previous clip, what the method to the madness was. I think that's everything. Without further ado, that's done. 5 minutes, 10 seconds, 7.4 mile per hour pace all the way through. Definitely a good sweat. Hopefully just one day like a really easy warm up, because right now I feel like I do have to like walk to get my body geared up for it. In today's case, I did hot yoga for an hour beforehand, so that could also influence some of the dehydrated feeling. But yeah, it feels doable. It feels quick. It feels really weird to go into the gym, only be there for 5 minutes and leave, which is some days going to be like that, or I can take it outside, which I hope to do a couple of times, but again, saving the knees. For the most part, I would just like it if the 3 or 4 minute marker didn't feel like, oh wow, I'm feeling this, and instead felt like, okay, I'm just getting geared up and kicked in, because I think that'll put me in better performance shape overall. There's a semi truck that's about to back into me, and I'm parked in a parking lot, so that's uncomfortable. So day 1 down. Let's see if we can knock this out of the park. Okay, so I went for a run, and my mom followed me in the buggy, and then we took a buggy ride. It was like 5:10, 5:11 for the run. It felt pretty good the whole time. And it was uneven terrain, also kind of up and down hills. We're in the country. So, but yeah, it felt good. And that's a wrap on day 2. 5 minutes, 7 seconds. Actually felt like I was having to like lean back at 7.4, so I upped it to 7.7 for just a little bit, but it just means that maybe pace is going a little bit better. Definitely felt freer today. Honestly, probably primarily because of food and then also being able to go to the bathroom right beforehand. But June 2nd, 1 kilometer, we out.
Hello. This is gonna be fun because I haven't turned off my music yet, but just want to give you an update on my cardio day. We did a 5K in like 28 minutes. So I felt pretty good. Definitely was struggling a little bit on the last like half mile. I think I just generally kind of gassed because I was trying to push my 1K speed. So I was still around like 7 minutes, 30 seconds. No. That was my mile time. I finished the 1K in like 4:44, 4 minutes, 44 seconds. I was pushing a 7.5 minute mile on my first time. Tried to pull that all the way through the first mile of it. And then carried a little bit further before I slowed down. So I probably ran about 2K at that 7:30 pace, and then slowed down to my usual, slightly more comfortable, like 8:30 from there on. So yeah, overall, pretty solid. Gas towards the end. Now just on a little cool down around the block. So, love that.
Okay, so today was one of those be consistent and hope for the best kind of days. I don't even know what I ran the 1K in because I went for 2 miles and yeah, just got some weird news. More than weird, it's really sad. But anyway, I'm okay. And then wrong shoes because my car's in the shop, so I had to use one of my old pairs of running shoes and I got shin splints and my ankles were hurting. Yeah, just weird things went amok, but we still ran 2 miles for like just a normal fitness session and then did some core. And honestly, I don't know that I would have done that before this challenge. Like I would have like made that an elliptical session real quickly. This definitely pushed me on that. The 2 miles was done in 15 minutes. Again, not like my best pace, not my work. K-tape was coming off, shoes were coming off. Like it was just one of those days, but not even one of those days, just one of those workouts. But yeah, we went in, focused, we got out, still standing. See you tomorrow.
Hello. Just finished up 3.5 miles outside. Rough time. 28 minutes, 30 seconds. Finished my 1K in about 5. So that feels pretty good. A little bit slower than on a treadmill. Well, my mile pace at the start was pushing 7:30. So we love that because that's almost a full minute, like 3 minutes and 50 seconds faster than I was pushing in the half marathon. So we love that. And the start of the run felt like a very natural cadence. So that was good.
Today the time was 4 minutes and like 56, 57 seconds, something like that. Because I got really sick of JADA and NICO beating my times. One more thing. This is about my all or nothing attitude towards everything. It's deload week, and as a trainer, as a professional, as a seasoned athlete, I know that deload week doesn't mean take time off, because that would just mean take time off. But it feels like if I have to go and not give it everything, then why go? So I didn't really want to do that today, especially since I started a new book and I didn't work today. So it is currently 9:15 p.m. and considering I usually work out somewhere between like 7 and 9 a.m., you could say that we really fought to be here today because I'm not running over on the 30th. Okay, that's all. Just finished my run at about 5:30. My friend Zach ran with me, and also we found a cat.
So it took me about 10 seconds longer because I had to stop and pet the cat.
So we did indeed run today after leg day. So we did it on tired legs intentionally. I did not intend to have to run at a faster pace after I did it on tired legs, but I was trying to beat my client in their warm-up so I could be ready to coach them. So our time was 4 minutes and 56 seconds. And honestly, still felt good. So, okay.
Hello. Today's run brought to you by drinking like 4 seltzers, Luke's bachelor party, and the new song by Kesha. We did the 1K in about 5 minutes outdoors in humid rural Wisconsin. Party.
All right, 1 mile done, which means 1 kilometer also done. Kilometer was reached in 4 minutes and 18 seconds. I did not feel any need to hold on to the treadmill until around 3:30, which was after about 15 seconds, 20 seconds into the 9.5 miles per hour pace. So it is helping my sprints. I also finished the mile in 6 minutes and 25 seconds today, which is a best in a while. I think my very best is 6:22, and I was like dying after that, but now I'm really just trying to like rehab my alignment with that, because at that point before I was doing a lot of holding, so that's something else that I'm looking for. For the record, today was also arm day, so holding this phone up hurts. But yeah, I was done. All right, it is June 8th. Because tomorrow's the 9th, because I can do math, and I was actually working on paperwork today, so I know that for once. And that means week 1 is done. Today was the start of week 2. I just got another 1K. I will say that this challenge is nice because it forces me to do my restorative active recovery activity, something other than walking, because I stayed and stretched because my body was in pain after running, whereas usually I get it down like 1 to 2 times a month out of the 4 I'm supposed to have in a month, because if I don't go to yoga, then I don't usually turn it on. So anyway, yay that. And I will say, after week 1, I no longer like dread doing the 1K most days. I'm like, it's quick, we're gonna get it done, we're gonna look successful, have a decent time. Today, time wasn't notable, usually isn't anyways, but especially today because I wasn't trying to go even all in, because I was trying to make sure that I still kept it as like an active recovery day. 5 minutes isn't gonna kill anybody. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Oh, 2 more things. I'm not saying I like running now, because I would be lying, but I do also feel more awake after the run every single time. And I was really dragging because we were out last night, and it's already 6:30, and I've had like, I don't know, 4 hours of different studies separately today. It was just good things, but lots going on. So this run is going to get me through admin work when I get home, which is nice. And 2, today when I was running, I didn't feel like as exasperated. Like I could tell it was the 3-minute marker, but also at the end I was like, let's push. So I don't know if that had more to do with like the consecutive amount I've been doing though, or if it had more to do with the fact that I didn't do another workout previous to this one.
Hello. I just finished my 1K. We did it in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Outdoors. So it was a faster pace than I think I've ever done outdoors. At least for this, for sure. So that's fun. Love that. Definitely felt like a bit was pushing. But it felt good in the sense that I knew I could make the 1K.
An ode to how much I hate running. Is that not what this video has been the whole time? I digress. I really started off today like, this isn't so bad. We're gonna go in, we're gonna kill it. Is this working? And then I realized that I felt annoyed and tired by 2 minutes and 52 seconds. So, ta-da. Okay, that was a mile. So obviously also a 1K and 6 minutes and 22 seconds for the full mile. So I tied my personal best for my fastest mile. And I haven't hit that tie for my personal best since like 2 months ago. And we're only 10 days into the challenge. And this is day 10, so I like that.
Okay, hi, hello. I realized I never actually sent a video today, but first I want to just like hype you up after yours because holy crap! 6 minutes, 23 second mile, 11 miles per hour pace on the final minute for the full minute? Are you kidding me? But yeah, 10 out of 10. Love that for you. I know I already sent this in the text, but like for my 1K, about 4 minutes and 11, I think 4 minutes 11 to 4 minutes 12 seconds, something like that. And that felt really good. That felt nice. I need to work on maybe upping my pace a little bit more too. Because you're kind of kicking my ass, which is fine. You're allowed to. But yeah, maybe that's something. Try up it from the 9 minute pace, or the 9 mile per hour pace. Maybe 9.2, 9.3. See where we go from there.
All right, y'all. Are you ready to hear this? That run felt good. It felt good. We're not going to talk about the fact that I didn't do a workout before or after this, and it's active recovery day, and, you know, all of the other reasons that it could have felt that good. We're just going to be like, you know, I felt like I could keep running. I felt like it was like fun. Like it was like running around the block when I was a kid. Okay, so that was cute. And also, I think I found the perfect playlist for Zone 2. So, the show goes on. Well, not playlist, but 2 songs. The show goes on. And Castle on a Hill. Because they have that driving beat, but they don't make me start to like pant and do like all of these like weird contractions. Like my body will respond to a bass drop in a minute, so I gotta make sure that I stay coloring inside the lines. Also, this fit, I know, okay, I know. It's active recovery day. I was at home doing workout programs. Okay, well, I was awful. Like, in feeling, and even more in pace. 6 minutes, 30 seconds. So we have somewhere to go. My stride and everything has improved in the treadmill. And honestly, I was breathing so dramatically that whole time. So I guess I'm gonna have to do a lot more of these out here in the wild, she says, on a suburban neighborhood on a paved parking lot. I also expected the run to be 5 laps, and it was 10. So halfway through, that was also a little demoralizing. But next one, I'm gonna knock that out of the park. So I know the machine is able, get the mind ready too. All right, hey guys, it's Becca in post again. And I realized that at this point of the video, I did a terrible job of explaining what exactly was going on with this whole run situation. And it's actually quite funny. I think I might have explained it and just lost the footage, but either way, here we are. Story time goes like this. So I was like, I need to do some of these outdoor runs so that like I'm not just relying on a treadmill, yada, yada, yada. So the day before the outdoor run that you just saw me do at the studio after class, when I'm spiraling about how it took me like 7 minutes to run a 1K, which is fine, but off base for me. I got on the treadmill, turned my watch on at the same time I was watching the distance and the mileage and everything as I was running on the treadmill. And then I looked at my watch and I looked at the treadmill and my watch said 0.62 kilometers. And of course the treadmill said 0.62 miles. And I was like 0.62, done, we're good. Didn't think anything of it. So I had the foresight to actually check and make sure that I was running the same distance, but that I didn't. I literally have math teacher parents, but I didn't check my units, which is obviously a problem. So I'm like, oh, I'm, 5 laps in, I should be 500 meters in, which is half a kilometer. And I look and it's like, you're only 0.3 kilometers. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much further to go. Like, I'm way slower than I thought. And then like the rest of the spiral happens. You saw it. So next day, when I'm telling y'all, like, here it is, moment of truth. After like sending this video to NICO and JADA, and I'm like talking to my mom, and I'm thinking something feels crazy. I even like did another couple of laps or whatever in a Burn with Becca class. Shout out Burn with Becca babes, you already know. And I'm like, oh, well, wait a minute. Connie ran this distance at this pace and da 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 da. There's no way that was less than a quarter mile. And just like gaslighting myself to the nines. So I finally started to think about it, and I was like, I should just see if my watch also had the units wrong when I ran it the first time, and I just didn't notice because I'm short. So my steps are so much shorter, and if I don't change the settings on my watch to match like the feet and the distance that I'm actually covering, it always thinks that I need to go further in order to do the same amount of work. So, yeah, what you're about to see is me figuring my life out and recognizing that I ran a mile in over 6 minutes and 30 seconds and not only a kilometer. Okay, moment of truth. Time to go run a 1K on the treadmill with my watch on. But also, I have already walked 25,000 steps today between the farmer's market and speed and agility this morning. And then I finished with a 10-minute wall sit. So, legs are dead, living off of determination, a little bit of anger, hope, and a dream.
Hello. Welcome to run day number 21. We're currently about halfway into the run, 0.31 miles, and doing all right. It is the hottest day of this trip so far. It's supposed to get up to 110 degrees, but we are coasting. We're having a good time. We're jamming to Kesha and thriving.
Thank God.
Finished up our run. You can't see, but it was 4:52 when I hit 0.62 miles. 1K, 21, done.
All right. Hey guys. Yeah, this is gonna be a jostly video, so I'll make it quick. Burn with Becca, off to the races. Speed and agility, sweaty Saturday. We got 10 minutes to get 10 laps. What they don't know is that's a mile, and they gotta bookend it. Here we go. Definitely gonna be a 1K.
Hello, good morning. It is 8:11. We just finished up at the gym. Started off with our 1K, did some rowing and had a pull day. But the 1K, we finished in about 4 minutes and 15 seconds. So a little bit slower than my fastest time this week at 4 minutes, 11 seconds. But definitely better still on the treadmill than any times that I run outside, which is understandable.
All right, second run, first mile, by the way, 7:15, and I had to stop and check on people. Look at them go. Energy is contagious. So that was a 5K. 23 minutes and 11 seconds. I didn't even check the time that I had last, kind of intentionally, because I wanted to just really focus on what the original intention was, which was finding a good stride, staying with it. I will say that it took like a mile and a half for me to feel like I had to really tap in, like for mental grit. And usually I feel it after like the first 1K. That being said, my mental grit takes me quite a long ways, but that's good.
We are about halfway done with my next 5K run. Technically, we're doing 3.5 miles, so it's a little bit longer, but it's basically a 5K. Taking a little walk break to get back to my halfway point, and then we're running the rest of the way back home. But we finished our 1K today in 5 minutes, so time is slower. But I'm tired.
Just ran our 1K for the 28th, so the 28th day.
And my ankle's feeling better.
Yay! And it was the slowest 1K we've done, for sure, all month. But we also did it right back to back with the Impossible Mile Challenge.
Yeah.
So I am quite proud of us. Also, I realized that this is a terrible shot of JADA, but my arms hurt because that was a lot of freaking burpees.
It's all good.
So, bye. I did my fastest 1K so far. 8.7 miles per hour, starting at the 0.4 mark. So, really felt good. And it's the day after the Impossible Mile Challenge. Obviously, aggressive speed, as always, is not the focus, but increasing speed coming with increased confidence is a great thing.
Hello, we are headed home from the gym, and we have finished up our final 1K of June. I got 29 of them. I missed one day after a bachelorette party because I was exhausted. But with a bachelor party, concerts, other engagements and things going on, missing one day feels pretty sick.
I feel like a queen right now. 4 minutes, 10 seconds, day 30, after 70 minutes of plyometrics yesterday. Woo! Outside in an 80% humidity index. Whew. Best time yet. That's day 30. Stay tuned for 30-day recap. Right now, it's my first day off of 4 days. It's like a mini adult summer break. I woke up and did yoga this morning, outside in the sun. My flaw is that there's only iced coffee pumping through my veins right now. But yeah, yay.
Hello. We are a full week into the next month, and my hair is a mess, and that's fine. However, I'm doing a quick recap on my June 1K running every single day. I missed one day, which was in the second week of June. So made it, what was that, 29 days? It's pretty solid, felt pretty good. And honestly, running 29 kilometers in the entire month felt pretty good. The runs themselves were not that crazy of a commitment to have to make. Felt really good every single time that I did it. I felt proud of myself each time that I finished a run, you know, especially the ones too where I was able to kind of push myself a little bit more, like when I noticed my speed was a little bit better, and in the nicest way. Not in the nicest way, in just like a very honest way. It was kind of cool to also then see that I could push myself a little bit more, and noticing that I did push myself a little bit more on some of my like longer runs too, of like when I was doing mile runs and things like that. You know, I noticed generally too, because I did a couple like 3Ks and things like that throughout, or not 3Ks, 5Ks. 3.2 miles throughout that month as well, and that my times on the majority of those seemed to go a little bit better too, especially the ones that were like outdoor. My first miles were usually really solid. Like my marathon running times, like I was shooting for like or half marathon running times, I was shooting for like an 8:30, and most of the times when I was doing these, you know, like 5Ks, some of my miles were like sub 8 minutes, and that felt really fucking cool. So we love that. So honestly, more than anything, I think it was just like a really nice thing to kind of be committed to. I think that was something that I really appreciated. Like, I know I kind of complained about it sometimes to the people I was with, if I was with people, but like on one of the bachelor trips that I went on, actually, like, it was totally chill. Like, it was like fun. People were able to like just like roll with it. Like, it wasn't like a problem. And honestly, it was kind of a nice break from like feeling like I needed to run around. It also was like a good reminder of like, okay, I need to like kind of be watching myself also, and not like taking things too crazy as I'm like doing this, because yeah, it's a short run, but it's also something where it's just like you were engaging yourself physically, and it was also really hot, so you got to kind of like watch yourself. And it was just a good way to practice a level of like self-discipline in a way that I don't necessarily always push myself to. I think that's one thing that I noticed too with like workout programs in general, is that I tend to do a lot better when I know there is that external accountability, even though I know like no one was gonna like yell at me if I missed something or anything like that. Like, it was one of those things where it's just like, okay, no, like, gotta find a better way, I think, to like hold myself accountable versus like giving myself too many passes, I think, because I think that's one thing in my own exercise, in my own like fitness, that I tend to kind of do, is I will give myself more passes than maybe is necessary, and use that as a way to kind of like just keep myself from really going. But overall, it felt good. It felt fun. I was proud of myself. 90% of the runs like felt really solid, actually. Like, they were never something where I was feeling myself like struggling through or like stressing to get done with. So that was really cool. And it was a really nice way to just kind of like get back into running, because I really haven't done too much in the terms of distance since that like half marathon that I ran last year. So it was just like a nice way to kind of like get back into running without it being something that was like this huge commitment. Like, it was huge in the sense that you were doing or trying to do 30 runs in 30 days, and the length of the runs themselves were not that huge of a commitment. So it was like an easy way to kind of get yourself going, and really felt reinforcing, and like those small little dopamine hits, you know, when you needed them. So that felt really nice. And I like, even on weekends, you know, when I would typically kind of like take time off, having those kind of like short little runs in there was just another way to just kind of like kickstart some of those endorphins, really just feel like I was having a good time. So glad I did it, even if I was hesitant to do it at first, and definitely feel like I am a little bit better off for having done it. So love that.
All right, y'all, here we go. It is time to recap what 30 runs in 30 days, and by time, I mean past time, by the way. But either way, what 30 runs in 30 days did for my running confidence. You guys saw it. Like, the whole thing was like ups and downs. Like, as I was putting the clips together, I was like, I would do this for comedic relief, but I don't have to. It's literally just how it lines up. Oh, I think I'm a runner. I think I love running now. Fast forward. Actually, that was terrible. I was only 2 minutes in. I couldn't breathe. What the heck is wrong with me? Oh, I'm running so fast and this feels good. Psych. I felt like, I don't know, a snail underwater or something. Like, every day is different, and my growth isn't going to be exponential. And that's true with anything, but I think with running, it can be really easy to be like, oh, just push like a little extra distance or a little extra, you know, quarter mile, whatever. And it's like, just do one more rep. And I can do that with conditioning, like with a burpee or a jump squat or something like that. But it's like, I'm not going to be able to push for just one more rep with a pull-up, or just one more rep with a maxed out bench press. And I think it's more comparative to that with running. It's the muscle of discipline, just like anything else. Not every easy run or long run is going to feel like the last, or definitely the next best, but showing up and doing it anyway does help to inform the progress. And the consistency brings the confidence that says like, hey, this still isn't going to feel great. It's literally, you know, straining my heart and my lungs are pumping and things are going crazy, but that's kind of the point. That's what I showed up for. So recognizing like, if that's the reality and that's what I'm feeling, then it's okay. Not allowing myself to give into the panic, just allowing myself to dive in to the work and the process. I think it really just taught me that the best way to get better at it is to really do the consistency of the work. I don't have to judge it in order to track it. I do need to show up for it, but I don't need to treat it like the stakes are so high every time. I can just treat myself right by doing the work and leaving the rest in God's hands. And then to echo what NICO was saying about accountability, I think is huge. And you guys hear me talk about this all the time. We are relational beings, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. First of all, you're a creation, and we were meant to be held accountable, first to God, and then also using one another as a gift and a resource, right? Not everybody is part of your support system, but you do want to create a support system. And hopefully that's what this Burn with Becca Beauties and Beasts community is becoming. And Burn with Becca babes, you already know that's where we're living at. So just giving ourselves those resources to say, like, hey, there is connection, there is accountability, there is a challenge and something that I'm working towards to keep these embers burning, so that I don't get lackadaisical about progress, which is the antithesis of judgment. We also don't want to be negligent. And then also recognizing that when you do set the expectation higher or differently, or, you know, even just saying it out loud and, you know, putting it on paper, like, there's real science to this stuff, right? You're that much more likely to do it, and you feel like you have something to work towards and kind of prove, and not in a toxic way, just like, I'm not gonna subscribe to empty boxes that aren't checked off, or lying to myself over and over again and having trust issues because it starts with me. I can say that High Rocks finishing in the top 15 percentile, it's a lot of running, and it wouldn't have happened without a bit more consistency and taking those literal baby's first steps. So yeah, confidence takes consistency and tracking, but not judgment. And PRs take accountability and commitment to progress. So if you are intimidated by any exercise, whether it be like you're so sick of not getting all the way up in that sit up, or I don't know, you want to get your first freaking muscle up, or maybe you absolutely hate running like I did, or insert blank here, whatever it is, I would say expose yourself to it more often, and tell yourself that you're not going to quit, and that you're going to do it on the days that you said you were going to do it, and not beat yourself up for how it gets done. So thanks for watching.